1. First heaven. Adam. The Prophet Muhammad moves upward through the heavens. He stops at the first gate. The angel asks who is there. The angel Jibril answers. The gate opens. Inside, a man is seated. The man has a large presence. To his right are people who look happy. To his left, people who look sad. This man is Adam, the first human God ever created. The Prophet Muhammad narrates this moment in a hadith that appears in Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. He says that when he entered the lowest heaven, Adam was there. To Adam's right were the souls of his children who would be in paradise. To his left were the souls of his children who would be in the fire. A single figure, and on each side, the entire fate of humanity split into two visible groups. The Prophet Muhammad approaches. Adam looks toward him. Adam says, "Welcome, righteous son and righteous prophet." That is the greeting. The father of all humans calls the prophet a righteous son. That is the first stop in the seven heavens. Adam, not an angel, not a gatekeeper, but the very first human, stands in the first heaven. He is the beginning. He sees what his children will become, and he greets one of them as righteous. After the greeting, the Prophet Muhammad continues his ascent and leaves the first heaven behind. Adam remains seated as the Prophet moves on. The Prophet Muhammad leaves the first heaven. He rises to the second gate. The angel knocks. The voice asks who is there. The angel Jibril gives the answer. The gate opens. Inside, the Prophet Muhammad sees two men. He recognizes them instantly. They are John, called Yahya in the Quran, and Jesus, called Isa. They are standing together. This is the first surprise of the second heaven. It is not just one prophet waiting. It is two, and they are not strangers to each other. The Quran already connected them in Surah 19. The story of John is placed right beside the story of Jesus. John was the one who came first. He was given wisdom while still a boy. He prepared the way. Jesus was the Word confirmed. They were cousins on earth. Their missions ran side by side. Now in the heavens they share a space. What God connected on earth he has placed together above the earth. The meeting the Prophet Muhammad sees is a sign. It is not a random grouping. It is a placement. Two prophets linked by blood and scripture stand in the same layer of the sky. The Prophet Muhammad walks toward them. They greet him. They say the same words Adam used in the first heaven. Welcome, righteous brother and righteous prophet. A pattern is forming. A voice at the gate. A greeting inside. A recognized prophet. The ascent is not just a journey. It is becoming a repeated recognition. Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim both record this exact moment. The Prophet Muhammad meets John and Jesus in the second heaven. The narrations do not say they debated or questioned him. They say they welcomed him. The greeting is calm. The Prophet Muhammad does not stay long. He exchanges the words of peace. Then he leaves them there, the herald and the Messiah, standing side by side in the second layer. He moves on to the third gate, leaving the herald and the Messiah standing side by side in the second layer. 3. Third heaven. Yusuf. The Prophet Muhammad rises. He passes the second heaven. He reaches the third gate. The angel asks. The answer comes. The gate opens. One man stands inside. The Prophet Muhammad says about this man that he was given half of all beauty. That is the description recorded in the Hadith collections of Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. The man is Yusuf, Joseph, the son of Yaqub, the one whose face made women cut their hands instead of their food. The Quran tells his story in Surah 12. His brothers threw him into a well. He was sold as a slave for a few coins. He was bought by a man in Egypt. He was tested in the house of the buyer. He chose prison over sin. He stayed in the dark for years. Then he was pulled out. He interpreted dreams for a king. He became the keeper of Egypt's grain. The brothers who threw him away came back to him hungry, and he forgave them. Now he stands in the third heaven. The beauty the Quran hints at without describing in detail is placed here. The Hadith gives a number to that beauty, half of all beauty, not a comment, a measurement. The Prophet Muhammad narrates it directly. The third heaven is not just a layer. It is where the man the world remembers for beauty stands, half of all beauty, and he is the other half. The Prophet Muhammad approaches Yusuf. Yusuf greets him. The same words echo again. Welcome, righteous brother and righteous prophet. A man who was thrown into a hole by his family welcomes a prophet who was also driven out by his own people. The pattern holds. The Prophet Muhammad does not linger. He takes the greeting. He looks at the face that carries a share of all beauty God ever gave to human form. Then he turns. The fourth gate is waiting. He leaves Yusuf in his heaven. A man tested by beauty stands in a place made of it. Fourth heaven, Idris. The Prophet Muhammad moves up from the third heaven. The fourth gate appears. The angel knocks. The usual question comes from behind the door. The answer is given. The gate opens. One man stands there. The Prophet Muhammad recognizes him. The man is Idris, the same Idris the Quran mentions only twice. In Surah Maryam, verse 56, the Quran says he was a man of truth and a prophet. Then verse 57 drops a line that has puzzled scholars for centuries. It says God raised him to a high place. Not a metaphor, not a phrase, a location. Now the Mi'raj hadith from Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim gives that high place a street address. It is the fourth heaven. The Quran hints at an elevation. The hadith opens the door and shows it. The Prophet Muhammad stands before the man whose body was lifted. Not dead, not buried somewhere on earth, raised, and this is where he has been all along. The fourth layer of the sky, a man the Quran says was raised to a high station, stands in that high station right now. Idris greets the Prophet Muhammad. The words are the same. Welcome. Righteous brother. Righteous prophet. Idris says it from the high place. The Prophet Muhammad says it back. The greeting circles the room. The Prophet Muhammad does not stay. He looks at the man whose raising is written in Scripture and now seen with the eye. Then he turns. The light of the fourth heaven stays behind him. The fifth gate waits ahead. Idris stands in the fourth heaven where he was raised. The Prophet Muhammad rises again. Fifth heaven, Harun. The Prophet Muhammad rises from the fourth heaven. The fifth gate stands before him. The angel knocks. The voice from behind the door asks the question. The answer comes. The gate swings open. One man stands inside. The Prophet Muhammad sees him. The man is Harun, Aaron, the brother of Moses. the one God told Moses to take with him when Moses was afraid of standing alone before Pharaoh. That is in Surah Taha, verses 29 to 32. Harun was the deputy, the one who could speak when Moses could not. Now he stands in the fifth heaven, alone, not beside his brother. Moses is one heaven above, in the sixth. The two brothers who stood together at the river, the two brothers who faced Pharaoh side by side, the two brothers who walked into the sea. Separated in the heavens by a single gate, the Hadith does not place Aaron inside Moses' heaven as a companion. It places him one layer below, a distinct heaven, a distinct station. The same brother who was told to stay with the people when Moses went up the mountain now has a heaven to himself. The Prophet Muhammad records this in the Mi'raj accounts found in Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Harun greets the Prophet Muhammad. The words are the same as before. Welcome, righteous brother, righteous prophet. Harun says it from the fifth heaven. The Prophet Muhammad says it back. The greeting hangs in the air between them. Then the Prophet turns. The light of the fifth heaven stays behind. The sixth gate waits ahead. Moses is up there, alone. The brother is below. The climb continues. If this is opening your eyes to what Islamic sources actually say, subscribe, hit the bell, and leave a like. That's what makes YouTube show this to more people. Let's keep going. Sixth heaven, Musa. The Prophet moves up from the fifth heaven. The sixth gate appears. The angel knocks. The question comes from behind the door. The answer is given. The gate opens. A man stands there, tall, dark-skinned, hair not completely straight nor completely curled. The Prophet Muhammad knows him. It is Musa, Moses, the one who spoke to God directly, the one who parted the sea, the one whose story fills more pages of the Quran than any other prophet. Moses greets him. The same words. Welcome. Righteous brother. Righteous prophet. The prophet says it back. The greeting is warm. But then something happens that changes the whole night. The prophet continues upward. Past the seventh heaven. Past the lote tree. He reaches the divine presence, and there he receives a command. 50 prayers. Every single day. 50. The prophet descends. He passes Moses again. Moses asks what was given. The prophet tells him, 50 prayers. Moses does not stay quiet. He tells the prophet to go back. Ask for less. Your people cannot carry 50. They will not do it. The prophet goes back. A reduction is given. He comes down. Moses asks again. Still too many. Go back. Again and again. Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim record Moses sending the Prophet Muhammad back to God repeatedly. Not once. Not twice. Multiple times. Until the number falls from 50 to 5. 5 prayers a day. Still carrying the reward of 50. Moses stands in the sixth heaven and shapes the law that every Muslim follows. The same Moses who argued with God for his people at Sinai. The same Moses who asked to see God and was told the mountain would not bear it. He now argues for the people of Muhammad, and God answers. The prophet thanks Moses. The reduction is final. 5 prayers. Fixed. Moses remains in the sixth heaven. The prophet climbs again. The negotiation is over. 5 prayers a day remain, moments when his people must stand and pray, each carrying the reward of 50. The 7 heavens in Islam. Explained. 1. The first heaven. Item 1. First Heaven. Adam. The Prophet Muhammad is moving upward. He has left the earth behind. He passed through the sky on a creature called al-Burak. Now he is at the lowest heaven. The first gate stands in front of him. The angel Jibril knocks. A voice from behind the door asks who is there. Jibril answers. The voice asks who is with him. Jibril says it is Muhammad. The voice asks if he has been sent for. Jibril says yes. The gate opens. The first person the Prophet Muhammad sees is a man. The man is Adam, the father of every human being who has ever lived. The first prophet. The first man God created from clay. He stands in the first heaven. The Prophet Muhammad does not first see angels arranging clouds. He does not first see stars being hung. The first celestial stop on the entire mirage is the origin of humanity. Adam. Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim both record this meeting. The man from whom every human descends stands at the very first gate. Adam looks at Muhammad. He speaks. He says welcome. He calls him a righteous son and a righteous prophet. The greeting is formal, it is a recognition. The Father of all people greets the last of the prophets at the entrance to the heavens. The Prophet Muhammad says the greeting back. Then he looks around. He sees souls. On one side, people who lived well. On the other side, people who did not. But the center of this heaven is the man standing in front of him, the first man, the one who was in the garden, the one who came to earth. Now he is here, in the lowest heaven. The meeting sets the pattern. Every heaven will hold a prophet. Every prophet will greet him with the same words. Righteous brother. Righteous prophet. Adam says it first. The model is set. The gate closes behind him. He leaves the first heaven. Seventh heaven. Ibrahim. The gate of the seventh heaven opens. The Prophet Muhammad steps through. There is a house. It is not like any house on earth. It is the Bayt al-Mamur, the much-frequented house. It sits directly above the Kaaba in Mecca. Every single day, 70,000 angels enter this house to pray. They leave. They never return. A new group comes the next day. It has been happening since the beginning of creation. A man is leaning against this house. He is old. His hair is white. His face looks familiar. The Prophet Muhammad looks at him and sees something striking. This man looks like him. He is the closest in appearance. Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim both record that Ibrahim resembled the Prophet Muhammad more than anyone else in the ascent. This is Ibrahim, Abraham, the one who smashed idols, the one who stood in fire and did not burn, the one who left his wife and infant son in a dry valley and walked away because God told him to, the one who raised the Kaaba from the ground with his own hands, the patriarch of monotheism. He stands in the highest heaven, the seventh. No prophet stands above him. The ascent does not place Adam at the top. It does not place Moses at the top. It places Abraham at the final heaven, the man who first called the world to one God, the man who was called Khalil Allah, the friend of God. He is the last human encounter before the boundary. After him there is no prophet. There is only the limit. Ibrahim greets the Prophet Muhammad. He uses the same words. Righteous son. Righteous prophet. The Prophet returns the greeting. The meeting is brief, but the placement is everything. Abraham is not inside the Bayt al-Ma'mur. He is leaning against it, resting, at the edge of what comes next. Beyond him is the Sidrat al-Muntaha, the lote tree of the utmost boundary, a place no prophet can cross. The seventh heaven is the end of human faces. From here the Prophet Muhammad goes where no other has gone. The meeting with Ibrahim marks the final stop before the divine presence. The house behind him echoes the house on earth, the angelic worship echoes the human worship, and the man leaning against the wall is the father of the whole tradition. He stays there. The Prophet continues upward. Sidrat al-Muntaha, beyond the seventh. The Prophet Muhammad moves past Ibrahim. He leaves the Bayt al-Ma'mur behind. He leaves the last human face behind. In front of him something rises. It is a tree, but it is not a tree. It is the end of everything that can be reached. The tree is massive. Its leaves are like the ears of elephants. Its fruits are shaped like the clay jars of Hajar. A golden light covers it, a light no eye can look at directly. Angels rest on its branches. They look like birds made of light. The Sahih Hadith collections describe this tree in those exact images. This is not a metaphor. The Prophet saw it with his own sight. This is the Sidrat al-Muntaha, the lote tree of the utmost boundary. The Quran names it in Surah 53, verses 13 through 18. The Prophet saw it a second time at the edge of creation. The text records that he did not look away. He did not go too far. His sight stayed fixed on what he was allowed to see. The angel Jibril stops here. He says he cannot go further. He tells the Prophet that if he takes one more step he will burn. Jibril has limits. Every angel has limits. This tree marks the line no created being can cross. The Prophet Muhammad crosses it. He goes beyond alone. At this boundary where even Jibril cannot follow, the command of prayer arrives. God gives the Prophet 50 prayers to bring back to his nation. 50, every single day. The Prophet accepts. He turns back. He passes Jibril. He descends. He meets Moses in the sixth heaven. Moses asks what happened. The Prophet tells him. Moses tells him to go back and ask for a reduction. He says his own people could not handle less. The Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim both record this negotiation in detail. The Prophet goes back to the tree, again and again. 50 becomes 40, 40 becomes 30, 30 becomes 20, 20 becomes 10, 10 becomes 5. 5 prayers on the tongue of every Muslim, but 50 in the record of God. The daily worship of over 1 billion people was fixed at exactly this spot, the one place no other human has ever been. 4 rivers flow from the base of the tree. 2 are hidden, flowing into paradise. 2 are visible even now on earth, the Nile and the Euphrates, Sahih al-Bukhari records. The tree is the source. The boundary is the place where creation's water begins. The spot is final. No prophet will ever see more. No angel can pass. The edge of created knowledge sits here. The prayers that hold the entire religion in place were shaped here. The tree stays where it is. The boundary stays closed, and the Prophet descends. He has seen the end of what can be seen. 7 heavens, counted and named, 1 boundary beyond. Adam stands in the first, greeting the Prophet at the gate. Isa and Yahya stand together in the second. Yusuf appears with the beauty that once tested a woman's patience in the third. Idris is raised to the 4th, as the Quran records. Harun stands in the 5th, separate from his brother and acting as a deputy. Musa is in the 6th, counseling on prayers like he counseled on the mountain. Ibrahim leans against the much-frequented house in the 7th, the last human face. And then the Sidrat al-Muntaha, the limit where even Jibril stopped and only one man went through. What the Quran records across these moments is not a mythology of monsters. It is what happens when a civilization runs parallel to this one. Under the same rules, the same judgment, the same deadline, and stays completely invisible until the text decides to show it. If this opened your eyes to something you didn't know about Islam, share it with someone who needs to see it, like subscribe if you haven't. See you in the next one.